Hello, we're the Infamy Fantasy Esports team, and we're hosting fantasy esports contests at infamy.gg, so check that out. But today we're talking about the new Ubisoft Battle Royale game, Hyper Scape. Just open closed beta just released a few days ago. And what are you guys' first impression on it?
I thought it was fun, just like a couple things that I didn't like about it, but the first thing I noticed about it was like the high speed gameplay and like the crazy hectic fights and everything going on. You have to keep track of. It's not like your traditional BR where you just have to keep track of the zone because the way the zone works in this game is it takes down districts. So one person may have to move, another person can be completely fine, and if you land someplace and then you're fighting and then like your district gets shut down, it can get crazy because now you have to like make the decision: do I continue fighting these kids? Do I leave? Are these kids gonna continue fighting me in the zone? And you have like this crazy battle where you're running across the map trying to get out while everything's being depleted behind you.
Yeah, I really
Super
like
hectic.
how
Yeah.
the environment is just slowly withering away with the storm
Yeah.
instead of just the
Well,
enclosing circle. It's more just like, oh, you're getting dropped out from underneath, and you
Yeah.
better get
And
out
then
quick.
then on top of that, you're like taking more damage because now your cover is actually getting destroyed. So it's
hmm
there's
Yeah,
nowhere to
more
really.
more dynamic.
Yeah. Um Yeah, no, I definitely thought it was a solid and refreshing gameplay experience. My first take of it.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I think they need some more gun variety, or maybe they need to balance some of the guns, like the
Yeah.
minigun. But like
Mhm.
other than that, like I mean,
I mean,
like minute to minute gunplay
they have a hit scan
was there.
sniper that they need to deal with, which is
It wasn't that serious. You got to think about it. Like most players have a defensive buff also, not just mobility. So like the sniper really doesn't matter too much. And like you got to think too that like people are jumping around the map constantly, like using the leap move. So like you're gonna like unless you're gonna snipe them out of the sky on that arc, but you're usually getting pressed by like three other people also. Like the
Yeah.
sniper is not that strong, but I can see why they chose to make it hit scan, maybe just to balance it out early game. I'm sure late, like as people learn how to play the game, they might have to think about rebalancing it. But like from what I could see, it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah, you felt like you were at a disadvantage if you didn't have a super strong gun like the minigun, because like you have to reload your gun and then
Yeah,
you're
and these
just
kids are
fucked.
just melting you.
You just
Yeah,
get.
you're just getting melted.
And then
Well,
like when you have a weapon like a sniper, when you hit a body shot on a kid who has teleport invisibility, he just like goes inside health regens, and then it's like you can't really capitalize on it.
oh well then you forced that person to go inside, and then you bring out your close range gun like the grenade launcher or rocket launcher, and you're just spraying in this like very close quarters environment like room, and then it's like you're that's gonna make up for it. That's like what's gonna funnel a lot of people into these small confined areas. It's like if you are able to chip someone down via the sniper or
Yeah.
another long range gun, that's kind of setting someone up for a kill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they're dumb enough to stand around for too long, like the best defense in that game is mobility, because most of these kids are going to miss their shot, especially with the sniper rifle. So if you move around quickly enough, like you run through that building, you're going to get your regen, and then that sniper shot really isn't going to matter to you too much.
Yeah. And then that goes to the
But
next, or one of the main problems I had with the game was like the time to kill,
Hmm.
yeah, I was gonna say
which
that
is,
like it's so fast paced and there's a lot of like verticality, mobility, but then there's like such a high time to kill. Does it feel like you're just kind of putting in a lot of effort for like just swinging at her basically
yeah.
because no one ever dies?
Yeah, I mean, well, from the streams when that I was watching before I got my beta code, like Tfue and XQC, they were just like melting kids. But I don't know, when I was playing it, you like get someone low, they use their abilities to either run away or like retreat to their teammates, and then the whole fight resets. You find them again, their abilities are back. I don't know if they need to like adjust ability cooldown times, but then that would make the movement and like the gameplay experience not as fun. And if you make the time to kill to lower, it'll just people just get melted too fast. So I don't know really what
Was the
What?
invisibility janky where it's like got him low and then he turns a corner and gone? Or
Because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
combo
Yeah,
that with the
exactly.
armor, so it's like with the armor you become invincible, but you can't be shooting, so they'll just cycle those two things off, become invisible. You have to find them. By the time you find them, they're just armoring up, and then by the time the
Yeah,
armor's off, their invisibility's back. So then it's just like a perpetual cat and mouse
yeah,
game.
yeah,
it's so funny because the it seems to be promoting such like aggressive gameplay with the mobility, but because of that, it kind of goes back into like the classic battle royale problem of like kids just hiding or camping or just it's just a new form of like
yeah.
hiding away from battle
Uh,
that
Running.
like
mhm.
no one running.
I think they
It's just
alleviated
running was the new hiding.
the camping issue because it's just like such a high tempo game. Just well, there's not really anywhere to camp. Even if like you do camp in a corner, you might kill one.
Yeah, but
Then
the
like
point.
your boy comes in with a grenade launcher. It's like if you're camping, it's going to be a closed environment most likely, and you just get destroyed.
No, yeah, but his point is that they're not staying and fighting, or like it's not like a one-on-one fight. It's like you're either gonna like it's the same situation as a camper, except I'm gonna compress you and then I'm gonna run away. It's not fun for the
You have
majority
to
of
use the
people.
wall. You have to use the wall to literally cut them off from running away, and then
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
okay, we can
I,
fight now.
maybe that's it, but I don't know. They're
It
like,
was
Yeah,
it was super fun because you have those fights where you're like everyone has their movement abilities and you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop and the enemy team's jumping from adjacent rooftops and you're all shooting at each other, zones closing on you. It's like super fun, but it
mm,
just like doesn't feel rewarding by the time you either get them low and they heal back up or you die from a third party.
yeah.
yeah,
The
a
flip
lot
side
of
of
the
the
time
coin
is
of being able to like jump to get in places is also kids can jump to run away. So it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
they tried.
Yeah, a lot of the time I was getting killed on like trying to chase a kid down that's low, like a last kid on their team, and then a third team full stack would just come around the corner and they just wipe me and the kid that I was chasing, and I'm like, great, they got two free kills, and like now I have no items. Like I'll get res because like we just like the only reason like I'm chasing somebody is because we just killed two, so I can go back to where my team is, like and res. But like I'm not gonna have my abilities or any of my guns or anything. And then the other
Yeah,
thing, like the only other thing that I like about the time to kill, the minigun's too powerful in that aspect.
Mhm.
Like it's the only gun that can melt people down quickly, and then the high the you
Clip.
don't have to reload it. I
Yeah.
think like the clip is like 250 or something.
Yeah, something
Like most
ridiculous.
other guns are like 14. So you
Yeah.
tell me how that's fair. Like if you could actually like light somebody up with a full clip if you didn't miss anything, I don't know, 'cause I'm not that good, but like if like that's really the only way that I see that them being able to balance that gun is they need to make the other guns a little bit more powerful. That might maybe mess it up, but that
yeah.
minigun is so
Do you
strong.
buff everything or nerf one thing? It really depends
I
how.
think. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but like for a minigun, but like if you just lower
The
the
mag.
clip count,
Hmm.
I think it would make it a little bit better because like you get caught out so many times playing a kid with a minigun that you're reloading on them
Yeah.
because the clip sizes are too small on the guns. Maybe increase the clip size on all the guns.
Yeah, we would run into entire teams that had miniguns. You'd just
Yeah,
be like, you'd be fighting your kid in the sky, and then he would call to his two boys. They'd come up on their rooftops with their miniguns, just spraying up at you. And
yeah.
Uh,
You're leaping onto a kid to kill him, and like you're just getting melted by kids with miniguns on. And like too, like the drop off was like nothing. Like it's
yeah, it
literally
has
just
no,
like
yeah,
this. The
it's
spread
no
was
damage
tight.
drop
It
off.
was like, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, but speaking of getting killed, what did you guys think of the alternate respawn situation they had, where it's like when you die, you become like a ghost that's invisible on map, but you can still run around the map and like
it
ping enemies, as well as
it's
the resurrection system, where if they just have to kill someone, right, and then they can bring you
Yeah,
back.
hmm
So, what do you
it
guys think about that compared
I
to normal BRs?
I thought that was probably like one of the best things. It kind of keeps you more engaged throughout the entire thing because there's something you can be doing. You can be gathering info, being the scout, and like kind of relaying that info to your team at no cost to you because you're already dead. But Because in like when I play Apex or when we play Fortnite, it's like if you die, it's just like you're just waiting, you're hoping your teammates
Just
can
go make some food.
yeah, you literally just like I'm doing anything else. The only other thing is like with the gulag in COD, there's like a chance you have a chance to bring yourself back, but there's even if you die, if you screw that up, then it's like again you're just back relying on someone else. So like
Yeah, well, at
it
least they could buy you back, but so it's a little easier than having to get their
that but
tag
that's
and
you have to rely on them to get the money, survive, and then actually instead of
It's
buying precision airstrikes to buy you back.
yeah.
Yeah, buy you back. Yeah.
Yeah, but when we played it, it was like Jake said, it was like one of the most unique and first things that I thought was cool about the game. That all right, I don't have to wait, and if I die, I can my boy can bring me back. But the problem you run into is if you're not getting kills, you can't bring your boys back. So when you're
my
like,
kind of game.
so like your boy dies, then it's like all right, bring me back. But there's no other way besides killing someone, so you have to like.
Do you
It's
have
like
to get
well.
the kill, or can you just like vulture someone else's?
Yeah, I think you can vulture someone else's. It just has to be not use the respawn
Mhm.
thing. So yeah, you can vulture someone else's, but you have to find a group who just recently got a kill. So it does become kind of problematic when you're not fragging out all the time,
Mhm.
which is something I didn't think of when I first saw it. I was like, oh, that's definitely better, but double-edged sword, kind of.
Yeah. And what do you guys think about the victory condition, the crown rush or something? Yeah, the crown rush. The you can only win by getting the crown and holding it for like 45 seconds or something at the end instead of
Yes, yeah.
just traditional last man standing.
It's it's definitely super different. And I don't know how I feel about it because you you think of like all these other BRs and it's like just get the kills and you win, but this one you can kill everyone in the lobby and get snaked by a kid who's hiding in the corner and just snatches the crown while you're doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But at
Mhm.
that
This kid
point,
just wins the game.
shouldn't you have the abilities like similar to how Battle Royale is like a Darwinism situation, like where it's like, okay, if you made it to the end, you should have like the best guns, the best abilities. So if you're out there killing everyone and leveling up your weapons and getting all their skills, shouldn't you be equipped to hunt down this one snake who has been like hiding in the same building? Shouldn't really have anything.
Well, if
Yeah,
it's
yes and no. It depends on how, like, if this
yeah,
kid
the
is that much
situation.
of a snake, he could have been running around and not killing anybody and just getting the items that he
Looting.
wanted.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that hard to get your abilities up to max level. It once you like off the rip, if you beat out the teams, depending on where you dropped, you would have at least one max level item by the end of the first fight.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like it's not like something where you have to really put in the work, or like kills are really that valuable. So like with this win condition, like it really does favor people that are like, oh, I'm in the back.
Do you know
Yeah.
where he is? Where the crown is, like at all times?
You get a
Yeah.
notification that the crown's gonna spawn at a certain location.
But if
Like
someone
I
picks it
believe
up,
it's yeah, and then like once someone picks it up, you get a notification that oh this the crown is has been taken and you have to kill him before the 45 seconds run out and take it
is it gonna
yourself.
tell you where he is, or
Yeah.
Um I'm not 100% positive. I didn't get that far in the game. I got
my
shit on.
boys weren't making it to the end?
We were yeah, we were we were getting hunted down early. But no, I don't think it shows you, but I could be wrong with that. But that is a
Well,
good
yeah, I have a question that you can answer because I'm sure you made it to the beginning. Like how many people were in each game? Like I
33.
know traditionally like 100, so
Yeah,
33. Do you
yeah,
think that was
33.
every game, or do you think it's
It
just because it's closed beta?
I I'm not sure if it's gonna
I
if they're gonna continue over. I think 30 it didn't feel like you were doing nothing for long periods of time, which is strange because like Fortnite will start with 100 players and then by the time the first circle closes, you have 20 people left, and then this game, the first district will close and you'll still have 20 plus people. So I mean, maybe because it's new, but just I don't know. I feel like people don't die as quick in the lobby, so I don't think you need more
mhm.
to add more people to it.
Something I want to add to that. This is
Yeah,
like the map. I feel maybe it's just because it is new. It's like a completely new map. Like the areas or the districts don't feel that different outside of like
I
of a
saw that criticism as
few
well.
major landmarks or buildings. Like it's kind of tough to figure out where you are and like oh like you might get a call out for something, but it's like where exactly is that if like it's a hectic moment and it's like you have like a split second to react. It's like or like if I'm watching someone, it's like I don't know where this person is in relative
Mhm.
to everything else unless they pull up the map for me. If they like tab it for everyone to see,
Hmm.
it's like it's you kind of get lost. So maybe it's like that's another thing where it kind of adds to the high rate of like the high time to kill because you might just get you you can't tell like where someone is.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that really affected my gameplay. Like knowing where I was on the map, kind of like minute to minute, you know, like where was I going? There wasn't a lot of differential. Like there was not like any area of the map was better than another one,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you know. So it really didn't matter where I was. It mattered where the enemy was. And that's kind of where we were just
So,
moving
all
around
right.
to.
So I'll
I get
pose
what Jake
another
is saying.
question once you
The,
after.
from the what we played, Blake, I honestly can't name one distinguishing landmark from any of the places we land outside
Other
of
than
that
the
one place.
church.
Yeah, the church with all the loot. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
other than that,
Like,
every other place is not
would you do
memorable.
you like it where it's like kind of like you're kind of alluding to like there could be fights anywhere. Like in Apex and Fortnite and Warzone, there's like distinctive areas. Kind of they're more isolated. The map might be bigger overall, so there's more kind of like dead or empty open space in between these areas. But it kind of funnels players into certain spots, and they're kind of leads into the skill cap of like you know which rotation you should be doing per what location you're going to. Where this is
I
like there's kind of there could be skirmishes anywhere. Do you feel
I
like
yeah, I
do you
think this
prefer
one is
one?
more like skirmishes everywhere. It's definitely different because you load into this game and every POI you go to, there's going to be someone there, and I'm not sure if that's because it's probably because the map is smaller, so everyone's like going to the same places and contesting each other, which is a lot more fun in my opinion than games that have large like Fortnite where you have like those dead POIs. There's nothing worse in a BR than like dropping in, spending all your time in the beginning of the game, getting all your loot, all your materials, whatever else you need, and then the first fight you get in, you lose, and it's like, wow, that is like the worst feeling you can experience. So I feel like you don't necessarily get that experience in Hyper Escape, which
Hmm.
is a plus in my book.
Yeah, I really think the only thing that gets people to drop in certain areas is that they happen to have a name. You know, like it's not really too distinguished. So like, there's not really, and like it's so early now too. I don't think people have a favorite POI. So like, it's not like they're choosing
Uh,
intentionally most of the time
I mean,
that I found.
do you remember when Tilted Towers first came into the chapter one map, and like that was like an immediate hotspot where like
Yeah,
you saw like
me, yeah,
90% of the lobbies just everyone dropping tilted, and
Yeah,
like
well,
that's
it was
still a
new.
thing.
It was
Yeah, but like this is
yeah, it was
new.
new, and the verticality was also there. You know, like it made sense that people wanted to go there. You know, there was also like a shit ton of places where they could cram and loot. This game has loot in every fucking building, so like and like good loot too. So like it's not, and also too like I feel like Fortnite has like a lot of different items. So like you might burn a building because it's like, oh, I don't want any of those items. You know, like this game, it's like, all right, well, I'm probably gonna get like at least one thing that's good for me or my team in every building. So like it doesn't really matter where you are. I think that is like it creates a spread where everybody's kind of just wherever they are. Like they're not gonna all focus on one area because it happens to be good. Everywhere is good. It's really just what's your team's play style, late game, early game.
I did see a lot of criticism for like kind of a lack of identity with like kind of the bland sci-fi environment everywhere. I think of Realm Royale. All of their sections have like a lot of personality and almost like themes to them all. So I think it would assist like an kind of different feeling, less repetitive experience for people that play VRs over and over again. And then as well, it's hard to tell if it's because it's early or because the map is bland. But to what Jake was saying, where you want to have call outs where it's like, okay, if that kid is low and he's escaping you with his trillions of jumps or whatever, you could be like, oh, he's coming around that corner, and it will actually mean something instead of like generic building number 12. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get the call out thing. I'm just like, it
And
it's
just
so hectic that like I'm not really paying attention other than the building layout of like where we are on the map.
your
It really
immediate
didn't
surroundings.
Yeah, it really didn't affect you. And then as the map dissolves in front of you, like it doesn't like those landmarks are gone anyway. So
Well, the way
you
it
know,
works is they dissolve districts. So if you make the districts
yeah,
mean something, then it's like, okay, Tilted Towers just got erased, or
yeah,
whatever. Just something that's like actually impacts your
it
brain instead of just, okay, that blank space of the map I can't go to. Okay.
yeah,
yeah,
because like they'll say like, oh, this district got shut down. You'll have to like check the map. Be like, is that the one I'm in?
Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I
Because they
don't know.
have names, but that's about
Yeah,
it. Like
Yeah.
that's the only
yeah, that's
distinguishing feature.
yeah, and it doesn't lend to having that from being a Fortnite player. You certain locations it caters more to your play style, and it doesn't have that variety in this game. Every POI feels exactly the same when you drop there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now that we've kind of gone through it all, I feel like the biggest like trash talk about this game coming out was like you're dropping a BR in 2020. That's super late, and I think it's because like I think you still can, but if you make a BR now, you really got to bring in something new because why? Then you're just bringing the same thing that we've had for forever. So why would we care? So do you guys think that the changes they've made to the traditional BR factor? Do you think these are improvements? Do you think it'll help them stand out amongst the Fortnite, the Apex Legends, the etc.?
I definitely think it'll help them stand out. And I'll give it to Ubisoft that they pulled off making a BR in 2020, and it doesn't feel like every other BR out there. When I first started playing the game, I immediately felt like a game I haven't even played before, which is astounding to, to say the least,
Mhm.
coming from Ubisoft. But yeah, I think it definitely separates itself
I think the
from
genre
every other
blending
BR.
as well, that it's a little more like an arena shooter than your regular BR. I think that's automatically
Mhm.
just in its DNA. It's
That's
gonna feel different.
that's Siegel
Yeah.
was talking about that, like when he went in to do like the early play test before it's getting streamed on Twitch. They were like selling it to him as like an arena shooter BR. So like you can definitely feel the
Mission
Quake,
accomplished.
the Unreal Tournament kind of
Yeah,
flow to it, but just in a like a big city in a BR.
yeah. The pace that comes with it is what had me excited as well. Just like the lack of, you don't need to be patient. You have a move that literally propels you into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got the
yeah,
heroic leap or the Winston jump. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
that's I think
That
one of the
move is so
coolest ones.
powerful.
Yeah,
That move is so
it's
powerful.
real.
I
Just
guess it's not powerful for the. Is it powerful to drop in, or is it just the like the
no,
mobility
No,
no.
of
it's
I'm
that?
like
just
I'm
it's
watching
just the
Siegel. He's
mobility.
literally just like landing his nutsack on
No,
people's heads and just like
one time I got killed by some kid. Like he wiped Blake and our other kid, and I was trying to run away, and this fucking kid just like did the leap, and I completely forgot because I was using it to like for mobility to get away, so I would cancel the landing part, and he fucking did the landing thing on me. I had like half health, and he decimated me. I was like, bro, I just got fucking stomped out by this
Yeah, it
kid.
also gets
yeah,
popped up in the air, so like you
Yeah,
can't move around either. So it's a good move, but
yeah. You got Gooba
yeah,
like
stomped. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But
Any final
yeah, that
thoughts, Blake?
honestly, I think the thing that's gonna make or break this game, regardless of like the gameplay is fun, definitely. But I can see how it can get old, even how bombastic it is and how like how fresh the game feels right now. The loop is pretty tight, so like I can see people burn out on the game pretty quick. I
Yeah.
think what's gonna make or break the community is that Twitch integration. Like, man, you can say what you want about the personally, I find them annoying. Every time you're watching a stream, and you have to vote on something every 10 minutes. and it's like the whole screen. But
Just the important fourth.
yeah, just the important fourth. Yeah, but I think that they can really build a community around it with that Twitch integration, like being able to invite people from your lobby, from your Twitch lobby into your game. It's really going to help streamers engage with their community. So I
Yeah,
think,
just to let people know that don't know the Twitch integration they have. Right now, all they have is that viewers that are people watching on Twitch. They can choose a pop up will come every 10 minutes or so that lets them vote on an alteration to the map. Like you can make a zone zero gravity or give everyone unlimited ammo in that area, stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
unlimited
yeah.
ammo, and then the other one, what's the third one? Unlimited ammo.
There
There's
was,
cooldowns. They
Cool.
can
Yeah,
reduce
cool.
cooldowns. They can give you health, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's all they have right now. But they're looking to add. They've announced two features that you can invite players from your Twitch chat into your actual squad in the game. So that'll help with like some more fan engagement. I know a lot of streamers like to do that. And then a big one is you'll get battle pass progression just from watching it on Twitch. So that's gonna fluff the numbers real good, huh?
Yeah,
yeah,
that
Mm.
these companies making new and intuitive ways of boosting boosting their
fluffing the
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
View,
fluffing
view
the
botting.
numbers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think this whole Twitch integration thing that they're going with is super cool, and I can't wait to see what other games take from it and try and implement. I think that they've set or like broke the mold for what Twitch is capable of, because up until now Twitch has just been mainly, oh, you can watch your favorite players, but now it's really moving in the direction of now you can play with your favorite players. Now you have like direct impact on the game. It's good, like we're moving into some kind of I want to say like Unreal Tournament kind of thing where you can just like if you want to, you can just like fuck up the game for someone else just for the lulz, or
Yeah.
you,
Oh my god. Every time you would be like, "Oh, I'm playing against a streamer right now," because the gravity would just stop happening. It's like, are you like, and you know, the Twitch chat is always picking things that are the disadvantage to their players. You know, like it's not
yeah.
like they're not helping you out.
Yeah, I heard oh man, what is that game? Borderlands, that they had a similar feature where it lets the like chat decide the difficulty or whatever of the bots and stuff.
Oh
So
my
I
god.
imagine they would just keep screwing over their over the
Yeah.
person they were watching. But I think that the really capitalizing with this Twitch integration is that they're viewing the real value of the Twitch chat, which people love it for the engagement, to see your name pop up and watch your favorite streamer read your name and your
Mhm.
message and react to that. And I think they're one upping it, and they're really like escalating the possibilities of Twitch chat and stuff like that and live streaming by giving them more engagement opportunities than even if you
Mhm.
don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just gotta be careful with their in-game manipulations because like they can't make them too fuck
Yeah.
people over too much because people aren't gonna want to play the game, you know.
Yeah.
So they gotta walk that tightrope. But like as long as they keep it like you're saying with the community engagement, I think they're gonna do pretty well.
Yeah, and another thing it shines with is showing like stats and kills that a player has and that their loadout. So
The
many
whole
times you'll
squad.
go into, yeah, the whole squad, you'll go into a Twitch stream and you'll see a player, be like, how many kills will they have? And they'll have like some kind of overlay blocking their kills or like blocking the map. But with this Twitch integration, you don't have to worry about that. It's just like, oh, I want to see how many kills their squad has and what loadout he's running. And if you don't have to worry about like them having some kind of overlay or bullshit
Yeah, where you
covering
can
what you
get
want to
it.
see. Yeah, you can't even see it, which I think is nice. And I wonder where they can take that with other games. Like imagine esports viewership experiences with overlays like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think that
think
would definitely. I do agree with Blake that like I think the sketchiest one is the like actually changing the game experience, like the environment. But I don't know. It reminds me a little of Darwin Project, where like you have the one god player who can be like just decide to screw over whichever player they want, but it's a
Mhm.
little more random. So I think that's just something they're gonna have to keep an eye on and adjust the knobs and dials a bit as it progresses.
One thing, oh, we didn't touch on this, but another thing with the Twitch integration is when you vote, if you are a tier 3 sub, your votes are weighted more, which
Oh, I
is
thought it was just
super.
subscribed. I know subscribe gets like 3. Is it by tiers as well?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I think it's
your
by
vote counts for
tiers as well.
3.
Yeah, I think it's by tiers as well.
Jeez.
So the
It's decided.
more dedicated you are, the more your votes have impact on the game, which is super interesting because now they're incentivizing community growth for these streamers. It's like you wanna really fuck over this kid or like help out your boy, throw him some more
Yeah.
money and your votes will be weighed more.
What's
Super.
interesting to see too is going to be how this game affects like Twitch itself, right? Like you think about it, like how many people are this is going to be their first Twitch game. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the game that like got their community going with all these community tools. Like how many people are like going to come out of this game? Like if it gets the viewership, which it seems like it could get it, just because it's fun to watch. Honestly, it's fun to play too. So it's going to be interesting to see like will Twitch celebrities come out of this game, and will games in the future really put a focus on Twitch integration, and will it grow Twitch in a different kind of different trajectory than what we're seeing now, with it just all
Yeah.
about personality.
It's a great way to get the streamers on your side as well of your game. It's like, of course, I want to play this game if it's literally promoting people to subscribe higher to me. And
Yeah.
it's just back to
Money.
what we talked about last video. It's like if Microsoft did something like that for Mixer with one of their new Xbox games or something, maybe they would have we could have shown that way. But now Twitch is getting them again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it's at 25K right now. It's like, I don't know. It's
We discussed this, Jake. There's like 5 different esports events right
not
now.
not right
and
now.
it's-
No, it's not.
And it's a
Overwatch League
Sunday
is
after
over.
4th of July.
Siege is
Everyone's
over.
dead.
LCS is over right now.
Yeah, and it's the
Every-
4th.
I know,
Yeah,
but
it's-
still, I mean, I don't know. It just,
Mm.
I'm gonna be kind of go the other way. I feel like it's not that entertaining to watch. I think in like small bursts it can be fun, but it's like, it just seems like I don't know, like you can jump in. And it's like there's no kind of like major, I don't know, like segments.
Framework.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
like
there's
nothing
no,
that I
like,
can like you can tell where.
Narrative.
Yeah, there's no narrative
Yeah.
exactly, and like the cosmetics for like the battle pass, like it's running into the problem of being a first person FPS. Like, so the only thing like you're gonna see for your character is like your melee weapon, like your whatever, your hammer or whatever your is, and like the only other thing people will see is when you see enemy players, and then like there's no like emote finishers, or maybe not yet, maybe there will be, but like Apex has like the sweet finishers, and also it has the individual character aspects. So it's like you can be drawn to like oh, I like Bloodhound for XYZ, but I like Caustic for the gas or something like that. But like Fortnite,
Yeah,
you
they
do
have
get to
talked
see
about expanding the story.
your cosmetics and stuff like that. So
And-
it's going to be, I think, more tough to have enough in-game items to garner the
To
warrant
form a
for
relationship with like viewers and stuff like that and players.
Also, it doesn't really have that, I want to say, skill gap. Just expanding on what Jake said, where it's like super easy. You watch a stream and you can hop into the game and pick it up. There isn't really that learning curve of, oh, I need to know how to do this, or oh, if this happens, do this. You just play the game, and I'm not sure if that is good or bad. Yeah, it's good for casuals, but for people who are looking for more from a game and the viewership experience, there isn't any real reason to watch. I did see a lot of people saying that the game was more fun to play than watch because of this, which I can agree with. But I mean, I can
it
also
is day
see that.
2. Like you don't know what
Yeah.
the skill gap is yet.
Yeah,
It could expand.
We haven't seen a
But
lobby
just
of all pros of other games play against each other. It's
Just
all pubs.
something me and Blake were talking about before, just to defend the viewership drop a little. It's like their drops were going out real quick. Like they were using the same Valorant system, for anyone that doesn't know, as like, watch a streamer who's supported and you'll get a beta drop. But they were giving them out like candy. So maybe everyone just wants to play the game instead of watch it right now that the first day's over and they got their closed beta keys.
Yeah, that's true. I got my key in 40 minutes.
Yeah, like I got
on
mine in
Friday, I was working. I put on a stream while I was working, and 40 minutes in, I got my email. It's like, oh, I was done. Valorant took me like hours.
I think there's a higher demand for that, to be fair.
It's all about the algorithm they set. Who knows how quick they want to give them out.
I do like doing these that companies are doing these beta code releases this
Well,
way.
get used
Yeah.
to it. Good thing you like it, because it's gonna be the norm for the next like 10 years probably.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
like how would they do it before? You'd have to like sign up on some like janky website and
Sign up
like
an email.
it says
You have to
send me an
be,
email and
and
then it'll go to your spam.
the people who actually do sign up are already the ones who are like hard committed for whatever game that is. It's not
Uh,
really like
Yeah,
getting a
far more
large
interactive this way.
audience. So.
Yeah, and you'd have to like go with like wave of like, they dropped another wave. Did you get a beta key? And it's like, no,
yeah.
I did not. But since we were talking about skill, let's go to our final topic of, do we think this has any esports potential? It's super early. You can't really know. This would be speculative, but just from what we do know,
Um.
Jake, be a Debbie Downer.
Okay.
Yeah, Jake,
Right
shit on
now,
it off the rip.
I don't really see it. I feel like there's just not enough kind of uniqueness to the characters in the gameplay. I mean, like separating like you and I, I feel like there's not enough separating players enough besides just raw mechanical aim and just being like an kind of more crazy chaotic.
So the breadth of the skill, like the kind of the
Yeah, I feel
distance
like there's
between
a
the
lot
ceiling and the
more
floor
room
isn't that great?
for mistakes. So because there's just so much kind of get out of jail free cards essentially, so with the high time to kill, the mobility, just the overall map design. I feel it it's not going to lead to a super competitive kind of high end.
Yeah,
Maybe it
that's
will.
definitely a big requirement, that like you need to, someone needs to like pop off and be like a
Mhm.
freak beast at this game to show that it's like, oh wow, if you're good, this is what it looks like. And then it's like, oh, what if we put all the good kids
Mhm.
in the same lobby and see what happens? But you don't think
I
there's potential for that?
I feel like there's not that much outplay potential. It's just like if you get lucky on getting a drop on someone, there's the
Yeah,
way
or
to
if you
bail
get push
yourself out
someone
of
into
it is
someone
just
else.
like too easy. Like I feel like in Fortnite and Apex, there's even if like you get like jumped on someone, if someone jumps on you and you have to be reactionary, there's skill levels where you are able to fight your way out of it just on positioning, aim, and ability usage. Like this, I feel like I don't know. It just first glance, it doesn't feel like there's that much depth to the overall gameplay. So maybe we'll have to wait until we see like a full stack lobby and like tournaments, organized tournaments around it. But right now, I don't think there is, and I don't think every game needs to be an esport. So there can just be games that are casual and just like fun to play with your friends.
But that's not the name of the channel. So Darren, why is
Yeah,
it going to be an esport?
I think it can be an esport, not like maybe not with stacked lobbies, but more so in like the bot race aspect of it. I think this game is really
But
made
it's so
for that.
small. The lobbies, though.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the lobbies are small, but just even when I was just watching XQC Tifu, and I forgot who the third person was they were playing with, they were just spreading out. And even though it was only 33 people, they get like 37 kills that one game with
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
reses and everything. It's still like super entertaining to watch them just like decimate
Demolish
entire
kids.
yeah demolish entire teams. So it may not have that skill gap that I was talking about before for when you have stack lobbies of all pro players, but just watching people use those flashy abilities and just jump in and kill unsuspecting players or less experienced players and try and rack up those kills. I think that's when the game excels because that caters more towards that fast-paced play style than when you have stack lobbies. It's more slow because it's like, all right, I'm not going to push this kid because I know he's at around my skill
Mm-hmm.
level and this is a 50-50 and why would I risk ruining my tournament? But when you're like, all right, I'm probably better than this kid, it allows for more aggressive play styles, and it may help that viewership or what's lacking in that viewership experience, formatting the esport that way. I do think it has potential, but there are a whole bunch of fixes that need to be made, like Blake said, to the minigun, and I'd like to see the time to kill be lowered just a little bit personally.
Nah, I like the time to kill. Honestly, it's. I think it opens
Ignore
up.
the thing we complained about for the first 5 minutes of the episode.
No, no. Well, I wasn't on that. Honestly, I think that if you increase the clip size, you fix the time to kill. Like it feels bad because you're reloading on somebody where you're like, I'm beating you out, but they have a higher clip, so they're going to be able to put more bullets into you or more chances, right?
Hmm.
But I think that it opens up a lot of interesting gameplay as well. Like you can bait people, right? You can set up a trap because you have so much health. You can now use your abilities to jump into a team, run away, lead them into your team, into a kill box, and then drop them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're
Mm.
like, and there's a lot of ways of doing it in that game because one, people don't know the map, and as people learn, it's not going to be as powerful. But like, and that's why maybe it won't be an esport because any strategies that I can think of to get an advantage in this game, because there isn't that much depth and there aren't really that many moves either, so there's not a lot of variance in play. Any kind of like psychological traps that you can set up on people, they'll learn them from from the Twitch streams, and then they're not going to be useful. So maybe they can integrate some
Doesn't
more
that create
ways
its
to
own
use.
mind game though? Doesn't that become its own mind game where it's like, is this kid baiting me, or am I just getting in my own head and I'm just finishing off this kill because I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be a trap? So that's
Hmm.
something at least.
yeah. I think that there are going to be interesting ways of using. Like people are going to think of unique ways of using whatever mechanics are there to gain an advantage, which will be interesting. Like Fortnite. Who thought that Builder Pro was going to be so powerful? And we see what the game is today versus like a whole bunch of people building one mega base. You know, you got to
Yeah.
give the game time to evolve, and I'm sure people will figure out some jank with the mechanics that they have on offer.
Yeah, it's pretty open ended, the possibilities, especially from what a developer adds or what changes they make to the game. But I just look at more traditional issues with like battle royales as esports, where just spectating can be hard, and especially when you're like ramping up the pace like this with like an arena shooter style,
Mhm.
it's like making Overwatch a battle royale. It's probably gonna be even harder to follow. So
Yeah. That's why I think the bot race aspect will cater more towards this game because then when you like beam into a stream, you'll see like all you need to know is how many kills does this team have, and that's already on the Twitch integration overlay. The game just like it feels like it was built towards this certain play style, and I think they should lean towards that. I don't think they should try and force this game to be an esport. I do think it has potential. I think they need to like focus on their balancing, but they need to keep an open mind. It is Ubisoft. I don't know that. Well, yeah, they worked on. They have competitive esport experience from working on Siege,
Siege, yeah.
but
But just to
it
your
will.
point about bot racing, like I imagine that having the smaller like 33 lobby makes it less like inherently like that because you can kind of take more like precise engages against teams because you don't have to worry about some random the 99th team coming up behind your butt. Like you can just it can be more of an arena shooter within a battle royale setting. So
Yeah, it's just like just from playing it, the game. I can't imagine playing the game in that way with like those like playing more passively in the game. I don't know, just like everything feels like you want to just like go go go, just like kill wipe a group, next group. Even like the how you get better weapons, you don't really find higher level weapons unless you upgrade them. So like if you want to have better weapons, you have to be getting kills or like looting a shit ton to upgrade your weapons by fusing them. Just like the whole game feels like it wants you to be getting as many kills as possible in wiping out that lobby.
yeah, so
I,
that fast pace might be better
Hmm.
for playing the game rather than
Hmm.
watching it. But yeah,
Yeah.
what are you saying, Blake?
I think that that's a mindset that a lot of people have, and that you could use it to your advantage. I think that like good players that play the game a lot are going to feed off
Not
of
about
these kids
kills.
that are just going to. Yeah, it's not
Mhm.
about kills. It's about that crown at the end, baby.
It's about
That's it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you're
that
if you're like a competitive player, like trying to make some, no one wants to watch the guy who just like gets the crown at the end.
I'm not
Mhm.
saying that
it's
you're gonna
crown
sit
thief.
there and hide for the whole game, but you can use these brain dead kids that are gonna chase down whatever to set up traps or stand on the rooftops because they're gonna be on the ground the whole time, fighting it out. You can shoot them at like we watch XQC and Tifu do this every single time. They're up on the highest point of the map and they're shooting down at kids that are fighting each other and no one looks up.
Yeah.
Well, I think the esports players would look up, but
Yeah,
any
but that
final thoughts?
we're not gonna know until we get those freak beasts playing the game against each other to see what this game's potential really has.
Yeah, I think it'd
I
be
do.
interesting if like a counterpunch meta forms where it's just like, oh, you get them, but then it's like, no, they had you all along. So maybe something
Mhm.
like that.
I would love
But
to see like high level gameplay because it's just so much fun, despite of all the things that I didn't like about the game, like the time to kill, like certain guns being busted, and then like Jake said, the lack of identity of each POI. Other than that, just the gameplay experience itself is so fun. I would love to see high level players just flying around from rooftop to rooftop, shooting each other out the sky. I don't know. It's a unique experience, and I definitely think it has potential to be something that
Mhm.
not a lot of people were expecting. It reminds me of Unreal Tournament 2.
yes.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Jake?
Um, Nothing new.
You can say
I
no.
think why it feels different is because all the more recent games are all more methodical and a lot more kind of just down tempo. Like Valorant is the most recent games. Like that is straight up CS:GO, and that's very tactical. I gotta make sure my footsteps are just the right level and blah 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 blah. It's kind of like very kind of I go A to B. It's very just like tunnel vision, and like this is just like feels like I'm back playing on like Xbox or Xbox 360 with a Halo, like big team deathmatch essentially, just like pure chaos going
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, maybe it's because all of us kind of have more of a background in arena shooters because that's what was the hot jazz when we were kids. But I feel like it has really good core foundation of mechanics and things that can be adjusted, like Darren said, like changing the giving the areas more identity and scaling the powers and buffing and nerfing whatever. But I think it has the capability. It's just all in Ubisoft's hands, which is not the most promising thing that you want to hear. But anyway,
Maybe they'll
we're
add a
the
NG sword. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Buff melee, and
Mhm.
your game will be sweet.
Throw the Halo sword in there, just little
Hmm.
half power it maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you slide in with a shotgun, blow out their knees, and then cut them in half. That's how that game should be played. Period.
More evisceration.
Hmm.
Fucking Destiny 1.
Yes.
Hmm.
Cool.
Well, all right. We're the Infamy Fantasy Sports team. This has been our rundown of Hyperscape. Check it out if you can. You can get a key in about 10-15 minutes, so no reason not to. But we are hosting fantasy Fortnite tournaments at infamy.gg later this month. So sign up and win it all. We'll see you next time.